Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. Yesterday, it was announced that the wildly popular YouTube show Pop the Balloon or Find Love just signed a huge contract with Netflix. And it got me to thinking, Pop the Balloon or Find Love started on YouTube and now they're cashing in with Netflix. I got my start on YouTube, so Netflix, what up? I need the bag. Y'all would check me out on Netflix, right? What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, I don't need to tell y'all what day it is. Y'all know what's up. It's Friday, and I got a great show set up for you guys, man. Y'all know I got you before you kick off your weekend. All right, I have a great show set up for you guys today. I have two lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about elite lawyers that say Diddy is innocent, according to a new TMZ documentary. The judge in the Jay-Z and Tony Buzbee case says the case can actually continue. Tony Buzbee thought he was going to get away with something. In quick news, we're going to talk Stephan A. Smith, LeBron James, Whack 100, Yo Gotti, T.I. and Tiny, Bill Gates, Big U, and Pop the Balloon or Find Love. Shout out to Arlette. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, question of the day, social discussion of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this Friday show. Yo, let's go. Our first lead story. Diddy found guilty by mock jury ahead of federal trial. All right, before I get into this, I just want to let you know that that is actually wrong, but I'll give you guys the details after. We'll read this and then I will correct it. Normally, the Jasmine brand is really good, but they make mistakes sometimes. I guess they're human. A mock trial in the case of Sean Diddy Combs suggests that the media mogul could face an uphill battle when his federal trial begins in May. TMZ recently staged a mock trial court in the new documentary TMZ Presents the Downfall of Diddy, His Defense. A panel of unofficial jurors found the rapper guilty of coercion and racketeering. No, they didn't. The jurors had evidence from prosecutors and the defense deliberating on whether Diddy should be convicted on his charges he is currently facing in real life: racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking by force, and transportation with women that wanted to do stuff with their body for money. The 12 mock jurors intensely debated whether prosecutors could prove Diddy profited from the alleged racketeering activities, if a consensual relationship could still involve coercion, and whether race might influence the outcome of the case. Ultimately, the mock jury concluded that the case presented enough evidence to convict jury on the charges. Again, not true. Diddy still remains behind bars in real life, and his federal trial begins May the 12th. Do you think the mock trial is a good indicator on how things will play out for Diddy? All right, so I saw this, and actually I was going to just tell you guys about the TMZ documentary, and then I saw this pop up, and a couple of blogs have it wrong. But have no fear, Trent Out Loud is here, okay? So actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play the clip of the TMZ documentary, and then I'm going to break down everything for you. It won't be like complete spoiler alerts. I'll just give you enough that if you guys want to go and see it. I'm also going to tell you that, well, I've already told you that the jury did not find him guilty on all charges. Let's just go to the video, and then we'll jump right over to the counts, okay? Here is a listen. It's actually a really good documentary. I watched the whole thing. Take a listen.
TMZ has a new documentary on Diddy and on the impending trial called The Downfall of Diddy, His Defense. A lot of people think this is a slam dunk for the prosecution, that Diddy is cooked. That's not the case. There is a real defense here that the jury is going to hear.
In this whole case, the battleground will be consent, and quite frankly, it sounds like at the time people were consenting.
If all the prosecution can offer by way of proof and argument when they put this thing up for trial is that Sean Combs was having threesomes and participating with the enjoyment of legally hired escorts, they're going to lose.
If you want to be honest, this man's business is not organized crime. He's an entertainer and has been for years, and he's also been very successful in business. To attack him in that way, I think it's not only false on his face, but it really tries to get you to appeal to your biases.
And it involves race.
Race permeates everything in the criminal justice system, period, end of story.
The case of Eliot Spitzer, who was the governor of New York, who paid $80,000 to prostitutes to cross state lines. He was not prosecuted. And this is the same U.S. Attorney's Office that is now prosecuting Diddy. So the argument they would make is, what's really the difference other than one guy is black and one guy is white?
We have a mock jury that you will see, a diverse jury that deliberates and talks about each of the 3 counts, and they get into it.
All right, so what I got from that documentary was there's a lot of very, very high-profile people, elite people in the defense world, in the judicial world, that feel like Diddy is going to get off. That's what I got from this. Now, yes, they are defense attorneys. However, they're high-profile defense attorneys. They're not defense attorneys from around the way, okay? There's somebody there, the father of the lead prosecutor of Diddy was actually Michael Jackson's lawyer. Okay, so Michael Jackson's former lawyer. His daughter is Diddy's lead defense attorney, which means that she's getting her dad's help. There's the lawyer that just got A$AP Rocky off, who's huge right now in the U.S. So a lot of big defense attorneys. And for an hour, they pleaded the case on the fact that they feel like the prosecution has a huge uphill battle to climb. Let's just jump right now into telling you guys what the Jasmine brand made a mistake on. So on the count, and this is a spoiler alert, by the way, if you guys want to see the documentary, the mock jury actually said after watching this that for the racketeering case, 6 people found him guilty in the mock trial, and 6 found him not guilty, which would mean that it's a not guilty verdict. You need to have unanimous, all 12 jurors. So that would be not guilty for racketeering. Then in the count for coercion, 10 found guilty, 2 not guilty. Again, that would be a not guilty plea or would be a hung jury. And in count 3, transportation, 12 found him guilty, 0 found him not guilty. So I think that's where they got a little mixed up. So this mock jury only found Diddy guilty of one of the charges. And one of those charges, well, I don't know what the sentencing for transportation is, but I'm sure it's far less than racketeering and coercion. That's probably why it's listed there as 3rd. Okay. So I'm going to break down and tell you everything what these high profile elite attorneys and legal minds said. First of all, they broke down what consent is. Okay. I'm going to put it up for you. It's a mutual agreement between participants to engage in sex activity. Was there consent? This unanimously from all the people in the documentary, including Harvey from TMZ, they alluded to the fact that it's going to be very, very, very difficult for the prosecution to show beyond a reasonable doubt that these women did not consent. The mere fact that they were girlfriends. Cassie is a victim, and there's 2 other girls who are victims. Another thing that they said in the documentary was that us, the public, has drawn our own conclusions based off of the civil trials that we hear every day. I have stopped even reporting on them because they're literally just the same thing every day from a different person. There's, 100 of them. I would just be sitting down here every day telling you another case. There's people online, content creators, that are just making up things, making up theories, and talking about things that are not true. And we, the public, hear all of this, see the Cassie tape, and think, oh my gosh, she's guilty. But what this documentary does, which I really loved, it just narrows it down and pushes all of that aside and says, this is a federal case, and this is what the prosecution needs to find Diddy guilty of. And these 3 things will be very, very hard, except for the last one, which is transportation. So the fact that they have to prove that these women did not consent will be very difficult. Like I said, all of these 3 women were his girlfriends. And Diddy allegedly has text messages or videos or whatever saying, I really love this party. This was amazing. This was fun. I like this. I like that. So again, don't forget the defense just has to show a reasonable doubt. The prosecution beyond a reasonable doubt. It can't even be a question in your mind. You cannot have one question and convict him as guilty. If you have a question, you have to submit a non-guilty verdict. So that is going to be very, very hard to define. They did say the fact that just because it's his girlfriend, it doesn't mean that it's not. Sorry, just because it's his girlfriend doesn't mean it's automatically consensual. I think we all know that. However, you will have to show, the prosecution will have to show, and it'll be very difficult. Now, SEX coercion, the definition of that is the act of somebody pressuring or manipulating you to having SEX without you wanting to. So that you don't want to, but the fact that you were coerced into, for example, like if you do this, if you don't do this, I'm no longer paying your house or I'm no longer doing this. So it's the coercion. But here's the thing. If Diddy said, hey, if you come to this party, if you come to a freak off, I'll buy you a house in exchange for coming. And if she's making a conscious decision to do that, that's not coercion. Coercion has to be in the sense of she felt like she had no other choice but to do this. And that's why they start talking about DRUG in the sense that if they took DRUG without them knowing, like if he somehow slipped it in without them knowing, and they got to prove that, and then they decided to accept certain things in exchange, then that is where he could be found guilty. But saying to somebody, hey, you want to come to this party? No. Okay, well, listen, if you're on the fence, like, yo, why don't I just like offer you a car? That's not coercion. If you're accepting that as an exchange, and if you're a sound mind and body, that is not SEX coercion. So that's going to be very, very hard to prove. Then they talked about racketeering, and racketeering I always thought would be very difficult. Racketeering is the RICO Act, right? And racketeering was brought up in the 80s for the mob and the mafia and all of that stuff. And it was to prove that you're using a legal business for the wrong reasons, let's just say. For example, like here, you have a laundromat and you're using it to clean money or something, etc. So if they're saying that Diddy used his Bad Boy Entertainment money to have these freak offs, then that could constitute a reflection of the RICO Act. However, Diddy is an entertainment. Part of entertainment, especially with Ciroc and all these other things, him having parties is totally legal and totally fine. In racketeering, you have to be turning a profit. For example, taking this money from this laundromat, putting it here, and then turning it over to $10,000. That's illegal. That would be, I can't remember, I don't know what the word that they use. That would be an obstruction of the RICO Act, or I can't remember the exact technical legal word, but that is something of the RICO Act. Okay. I wish I could remember the word. Should have written it down. It was breaking the RICO Act, something like that. Okay. Then there is the Mann Act, which they said that is also going to be very hard to prove. Then they go on to race, which I found very interesting. They say that the defense could use the fact that the prosecution is targeting Diddy because he is a successful black man, one of the most successful black men, making $1 billion. I was really surprised by that. I understand like people in the street saying that. I didn't think that could ever be brought up in court, but they brought up this fact of that there have been a couple of people in the government that have had the same amount of accusations and found proof that they did these similar things with women, and there was no charges brought against them from this exact district in New York. So the defense just has to come out and say, look, there's this guy, and this guy, two of them being in the government and high profile. You didn't bring charges against him. Why, of all of these people, are you bringing it against the only guy here that is black? Johnny Cochran did that with OJ, and they were saying that's one of the things that helped OJ beat his case. So they feel like they're going to bring up race and it will be able to help him. You guys know online that there's been these rumblings of the reason why the government went after Diddy is because Diddy was going after Darion and was going after Diageo. So because of his arguments with over Diageo, sorry, his arguments with Diageo over Darion, and he was making a big stink and bringing them to court. All of a sudden, when he brought them to court, they, these charges came around. So they were saying like, hey, they don't want a black man to have all this money or whatever. They say, TMZ, they say that this will be brought up in court. Another thing that they said was very interesting was jury selection, they feel, is going to win or lose this case. And one of the leading jury consultants, one of them actually being Dr. Phil, I had no clue about that. He's one of the most sought after jury consultants in the US. Never knew that. He was saying, and there was also another high profile jury consultant saying that there's two people that the defense, if they get on the jury, will help them a lot. Black men, because they'll see themselves in Diddy. And then if they play their race card, that will really help them a lot. And surprising, they didn't say the race, but they said the more women they could get, they feel would be more beneficial. And the reason why is the fact that all this consent and coercion, they said that women judge other women more harshly than a man would. For example, another woman will look and say, well, why were you with him for 10 years? Why did you go to the party? Why did you accept the boat rides? Why did you accept the house? Why did you accept the car? Why did you accept this and keep on staying? When the defense shows all of their reasoning behind the fact that this wasn't coercion, that this was just, hey, I wanted to give you a car. He gave me a car. This was great. Hey, there's pictures of you all over your Instagram showing off your car and saying that how much you love Diddy. Another woman is going to be like, who doesn't do that kind of stuff and works a 9-to-5 at the bank, is going to be like, you're just trying to bring this guy down because he stopped paying you your money. And they feel like a woman will be more harsher on a woman, which I thought was really smart. Lastly, I think it was Dr. Phil that said this. He says, the more diverse the jury is, the better it will be for the defense. He suggests that they try to create an argument within the jury. So if you have all the same kind of walk of people, it's going to be easier for them to agree. But if you have one guy from this part of the thinking zone and this other guy who thinks this other way and that other way, and because the case is so pulverizing, you want them to go back into the jury deliberation and be like, no, I don't know what you're talking about this. No, you don't understand how it is for black people. No, you don't understand how it is for women. You don't understand this. You don't understand that. And before you know it, you have a hung jury. Now, Harvey from TMZ asked, like, does the defense really want a hung jury? Because a hung jury with no bail means that Diddy has to stay in jail again while there is another trial that comes around. But then Dr. Phil was saying the fact that there's a hung jury and now the prosecution has presented their entire case, even if there is a second trial, the defense will know every single thing that the prosecution is going to do, and they have more advantage to beating them knowing all their cards. It's literally like like playing poker the first time, and you don't know what somebody has in their hand, you don't know who's bluffing or whatever. But then now second time around, you know every card that they have in their hand, and now you got to play your hand again. It's going to be totally different. And he also mentioned that more times than not, whether after a hung jury, especially in a high-profile case, they're not going to want to retry the case again. So that's another way. So that was really about it. The last thing that I thought was also very interesting. By the way, this documentary is really good. I know I just pretty much told you everything, but obviously it's an hour, so there's a lot of things that I didn't dive into. But it's really good. It's one of my favorite documentaries that I've watched, and I've watched all of them. The last thing that they said is, this is the best time to go after, for the defense to go after the federal court system. The reason why is the American population has been conditioned over the past year or 2 years to not trust the DOJ and not trust the federal court system. Think about it. Who do you know that has been talking about the federal court system, saying that it's rigged, saying that it's, it targets whoever they want, it's not fair? Donald Trump, right? What has he been saying? All of his trials, it's a witch hunt. They're coming after me. All the defense has to do. You heard the president of the United States. He told you that these people just want to come after you. This is a witch hunt. Of course they're going to come after and go after one of the most successful black men. This is a witch hunt. This is racial. We can give you examples of 4 other men that would have these similar cases. Forget about not even getting bail. They didn't even get charges. They're free to roam around. Why is this black man? They're headhunting him. They're doing this. If they could do this to our president, imagine what they're doing to a black man. So they're saying that now more than ever. You also even hear it with Mayor Eric Adams saying that this is a witch hunt. They're going after him. The Supreme Court, people literally have been, Donald Trump is just stacking the Supreme Court. A lot of people don't trust the Supreme Court. So don't forget, this is a federal indictment. And in the past 2 or 3 years, a lot of Americans who will be the jury of your peers are going to be sitting down saying, man, the president of the United States told me not to trust the federal prosecutions. Why should I trust them? Why should I trust that they're telling me it's true? Why should I trust this? So those are all the angles that these high-profile elite attorneys are saying that Diddy's defense team should use. And they feel like if they are diligent enough, they feel if they are careful enough around the Cassie video, that of course the Cassie video is going to be the crux of the entire case. They feel, of course, after the jury, they feel if they could isolate that as, hey, we have all had bad times. This was 10 years ago. My client was very apologetic. That was so wrong of him. That was his worst time. However, he is not on trial for that. Okay. This is not what he's on trial for. It is horrible. It's disgusting. Yes, he admits all of that. He's going to, change. He's a change man. If they can navigate around that tape and if they could create distractions and disagreements within the jury, most of them feel like Diddy could get off. Now, I know that's not what y'all want to hear. A lot of people, like I said earlier in the documentary, even alludes to that most of us have just assumed that Diddy is guilty. But the court system says you need to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And a lot of these defense attorneys suggest that the prosecution has a very, very uphill battle to climb. So I'll leave it with you guys. Let me know if any of you have seen it. It is available on Tubi for free. Just go to Tubi. It's right there on the homepage over this weekend. Take a look at it and come back and let me know in the comment section what you think about it. Let me know if you think Diddy is going to get off. Woo! I cannot wait for May the 12th. Let me know what you guys think. Our second lead story. Judge signals Jay-Z extortion case against attorney Tony Buzbee could move forward. All right, I see a lot of people online being like, oh my gosh, Jay-Z won. The judge says, okay, some of this makes sense. We could move forward. Chill, people. Jay-Z's legal fight against attorney Tony Buzbee is gaining momentum after a judge signals he is allowing Jay-Z's extortion claim to proceed. The new twist comes after private investigators uncover evidence from the Jane Doe who had previously accused Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs of SA and the R word. In a recorded conversation, she reportedly stated that Buzbee pushed her into including Jay-Z in the allegations. She says it was more Diddy, but Buzbee brought Jay-Z into it. The new evidence prompted the judge to reconsider his position, noting that it could point to extortion. A follow-up hearing is scheduled for April the 7th to determine whether the extortion claim will stand. Okay, so the judge at first was like, what are you guys talking about? They submitted this tape. And he's like, okay, I will hear it. That's all he said. I think a lot of people don't realize that that's why court takes up to like a year and a half sometimes. It's like, okay, we'll set a date. You could talk. Then we'll set another date 2 months later now. Okay, we'll talk again. My prediction, and also as a mix of what I've been hearing, is these tapes are not going to be admissible because of the fact that it's very easy for her to just say, two people, and she's already said this, and Tony Buzbee is going to use this in April, but two people came up to my door. I filed a case against one of the most powerful entertainers in the world as a Jane Doe. Two strange people, a man and a woman, came to my door and was like, we know you're the Jane Doe. And we got questions for you. So you're just like, yeah, okay. Yeah. Tony Buzbee put you up to this to say Jay-Z said that, right? Right? Yep. It was all Tony Buzbee. Like, of course she's going to say yes. So all Tony Buzbee has to do is come and just bring her to court. He already has her on tape. He already has her signed this. I already played it for you guys when this all hit online. So I don't think this is going to hold up. The judge has to be fair on both and hear both sides. This is all what's going on. I feel like this case will get thrown out. I feel like they will all get thrown out. And I think Jay-Z knows that, but Jay-Z is playing the same game that civil lawyers are playing and trying to win over public perception. That's all they're doing. And Jay-Z has the time and the money to do this. He thinks that Tony Buzbee, well, not thinks that, he looks at it as Tony Buzbee was trying to make him look bad, trying to have him pay up money or look bad. So he is going to spend the next year or 2 years of his life literally dragging Tony Buzbee's name through the mud. I personally don't think that's a good idea. Personally, for me, if you look at any story that has Jay-Z or Tony Buzbee into it and you just click and you see the comment section, I would say at least 80% of the people don't believe Jay-Z. They believe that he's harassing this Jane Doe. They are not a fan of Tony Buzbee, but who cares? Tony Buzbee doesn't have a wife that has concert tickets to sell. You know what I'm saying? Cowboy Carter, Jay-Z has artists or whatever. I feel like every time Jay-Z's name is on a social media blog, it's reminding people of the accusations. And most people feel like he just paid off the Jane Doe. Even if the Jane Doe comes out and says, forget the people that were at my house. Yeah, it was Tony Buzbee. Tony Buzbee made the whole thing up. Everyone's just going to think that Jay-Z paid her off. He's a billionaire. He's going to feel like Jay-Z won over the system. That's how the average people are going to think about somebody who's elite. So no matter what Jay-Z does, he's never going to be able to win. And now, to me, he just looks like a bully because he just looks like he is flexing his muscles. So if you ask me, if I was consulting him, I would tell him, you cleared your name. The case is dismissed with prejudice, mean that you cannot, without prejudice, mean that you cannot bring it back up in court again. Let it be done with, bro. Let it be done with. The more your name is attached with this case, with Diddy, with Tony Buzbee, you look guilty. And a lot of the people don't read the whole article. They don't read the whole headlines. They don't read the whole thing. They just read the headlines and they just see, I saw something with Jay-Z and Tony Buzbee. What's going on with that case? Is he still there? Yeah, man. Yeah. He's going to jail soon. You know how people are in the barbershop. Yeah, he's going to jail soon. Yeah. He is in jail already. Yeah. Oh, Diddy's getting out tomorrow. And then Jay-Z's going back at just if I were him, I'd get my name totally out of it and sit down and be happy that I got my case thrown out. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick news. Ring my Friday bell. Our first quick story. Oh my gosh, more Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James. Can you guys stop? Stephen A. Smith goes off on LeBron James amid their feud. I never brought up how you were not at Kobe Bryant's memorial service. All right, guys. So we went into depth about everything LeBron was saying on yesterday's show. And I was just more excited the fact that I was like, I cannot believe LeBron James actually went on Pat McAfee's show and even addressed this. I was just shocked by it. I told you guys my disappointment. And I said, I really hope Stephen A. Smith doesn't say anything. He would now look like the bigger person because LeBron was looking big when he didn't say anything. But of course, Stephen A. Smith didn't listen to me. And he's talking again. And now my excitement has totally dissipated. Like, it's terrible. The beef continues. Stephen A. Smith goes off on LeBron after Bron posted a video of Stephen A. Smith boxing. All right, so first I'll show you the boxing video, which is hilarious, but again, I just feel like it's childish. You're the GOAT, the greatest basketball player of all times, and you're having like social media feuds with a commentator. It just feels so like, it's like it's giving high school, you know? Anyways, yesterday morning, King James, his Instagram name, posted this after Stephen A. Smith said that he would swing on him if LeBron tried to swing on him. Listen.
Swing up that, raise him up. Yeah, make it more free. Yeah, push.
So after that video, he played this video. All right, so then Stephen A. Smith got mad. Oh, you're making fun of me. You're putting boxing videos of me. Like, does this not feel like high school? Be honest. Stephen A. Smith just signed a contract for $100 million. LeBron James is worth $1 billion. It's the middle of the season. Well, not the middle of the season. It's almost the end of the season. Playoffs are coming, and this is what they're doing. It's ridiculous. Anyways, Stephen A. Smith took the gloves off, and he's kind of really going at LeBron. Take a listen.
That he'd be happy with the things that I haven't brought up. I never brought up really and never really discussed why you were not at Kobe Bryant's memorial service. I never really brought up or discussed why you did not attend Dwayne Wade's Hall of Fame induction when that man was directly responsible for you capturing a championship for the first time in your career. I brought up none of that.
Okay, maybe I am a little excited. Woo! Stephen A. Smith. We're going away from basketball and we're going very personal. Stephen A. Smith has a lot of tea on people. I feel like this is just a first little hey, it's a little bit of a pushback. Like, you want to start digging up some tea? Because trust me, Stephen A. Smith has way more stuff on LeBron than LeBron has on Stephen A. Smith. We'll see what LeBron does. As much as I am excited, I hope that he doesn't do anything because this will start being a little bit ridiculous, but who knows? Might be entertaining. Let me know if you guys are sick and tired of this or you want LeBron James to respond. Sorry, y'all. Just had to pop back in. This just happened. Stephen A. Smith tweeted this out and said, "My apologies and clarifications. I misspoke in hour 1 of First Take today when I intimated that LeBron did not attend Kobe's memorial. I corrected myself in hour 2 when I acknowledged he was indeed in attendance. My mistake. Should have not even broached that subject. It was not my main point. I retract nothing else that I said. Have a nice day." You see how ridiculous these guys are being? Do you see how ridiculous? Now, when I heard that and I even played that, I thought in the back of my head, I wish I would have said it at the time, but I was like, if I remember correctly, LeBron said that he doesn't want to be on camera. If you guys remember the memorial service at the Staples Center, it's crypto now, but it was Staples Center at that time. LeBron said, "I don't want to be on camera." So a lot of people at that time thought that he wasn't there, but he specifically said, "I don't want to be on camera." Maybe because he was crying. I don't know what it was, but he said that. But when he said memorial service, I thought maybe he was talking about something else because I knew LeBron was there. That's why I didn't say it, but I wish now I would have. Anyways, I'm still going to leave it in the show. But Stephen A. Smith is now apologizing for saying that. Bro, you guys look ridiculous. You look like high school girls. High school girls would be laughing at you guys. And it's just, please, it's Friday. It's the weekend. Stop it. I really do not want to come on this podcast on Monday and say anything about Stephen A. Smith. LeBron, even more now, he just made himself look ridiculous by opening his mouth and saying this. LeBron, don't say anything more. Let Stephen A. look ridiculous. You looked a little ridiculous on Pat McAfee, but I think you should end us off like Kendrick. Kendrick didn't say nothing. Just, take a page out of Kendrick's book. Kendrick ain't even talking. Don't talk. Let's see if LeBron could do it. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our second quick story. Whack 100 says Yo Gotti is next on the Fed's list. Predicts RICO case for Young Dolph's unaliving. I don't know why Whack 100 keeps on talking about people and feds. People keep on accusing him that he's working with the feds and he's snitching. And he's like, what are you talking about? Me snitching? I have nothing to do with Big U. I have nothing to do with Loose Cannon, Brick Baby. I've been telling you guys about them all week. And now he's like, yo, by the way, the next people who the feds are going after is going to be Yo Gotti. Like, why are you talking about these things, Whack? Anyways, take a listen.
That Yo Gotti, say your prayers. You better say your prayers.
You know they coming, don't you? You know they coming.
Hey, bro. Hey, bro, that nigga got up there and said, they said, didn't CMG pay for your attorney $50,000? Yeah. But they didn't give it to me. He said, yeah. But they paid for it because you kicked off, right? Yeah. Well, that was your compensation. That's finna get, that's next. Watch. Remember I told you.
Now, I will say that, he might be right because, like I told you this week, I feel like the feds are super active right now. Like, it literally feels like back in the day. Remember like the hip hop police and all of this stuff? Like I feel like they are going after every single person from Diddy. Well, I mean, Diddy kind of brought it on himself, but you know, Young Thug, and now you have Big U and Loose Cannon and Brick Baby, and they allegedly just what's his name? Adam 22. Yo Gotti has been out here for a while, like untouched with that whole Dolph thing that's going on. So we'll see. We'll see. And now again, a RICO Act is a lot easier to prove when these guys are funneling money and doing stuff. That's actually a RICO Act. They're using, well, let me not get myself in trouble. They're allegedly using some of their street money in their business money to turn around to make more money, right? Or vice versa, their street money in their music money, right? That's what, what's his name? Big Meech, right? That whole BMF series that 50 Cent was bringing. They were one of the first ones to do it in hip hop. That's why Irv Gotti and all of them had that federal indictment. They figured out what was going on. So we've heard that from the beginning of time. We'll see what happens. For those of you who know about this, let me know what you think about it. Our third quick story. T.I. tells King that he's about to get his, can I say this? About to get his fingers wet with Tiny. I guess YouTube will let me know if that's wrong or not. Anyways, T.I.'s son was on stream and he was talking with T.I. and he had a little suggestion. It was not a suggestion, but a little comment about something that he was going to do, and he had to get off the phone with him. I think it's hilarious. Y'all might think this is wrong, but by the way, King is a grown man. He has his own child himself. So I think it's cool to have a father and son kind of relationship like that. Some of you might disagree, but take a listen.
I done talked long enough to you, man. I got your mama right here, man. I'm finna go on here and see if I can get my fingers wet.
Hey, bro, stop playing, bro. Why you always playing?
I like the relationship. I like it. Let me know if you guys think that this is wrong or fun. Remember, King is an adult. He has his own child. Does he have two? I mean, I think he's only like 19, but he's still an adult. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this. I don't see anything wrong. I think it's fun, especially if Tiny doesn't see anything wrong with it. I think it's cool. Our fourth quick story. Bill Gates predicts that AI will take over jobs for doctors and teachers in about 10 years, says humans won't be needed for most things. Yikes. Do you think there could be an AI podcaster? But let me answer that question again. There could be AI podcasting, but do you feel like AI will be able to bring like personality and have like, you know, humor and intonations and jokes and humor and just like a feeling? Do you think you would tune in to hear an AI YouTuber? I wonder. Anyways, AI has taken the world by storm, with it being involved in most of everyday aspect of lives, whether it be directly or indirectly. Tech billionaire Bill Gates is now predicting that in about 10 years, AI could take a lot of human jobs, including doctors and teachers. During an interview with Jimmy Fallon, Gates explains how he believes humans will not be needed for most things due to the emergence of AI. Gates says it's very profound and a little bit scary because it's happening very quickly and there's no upper bound. What does that mean? There is no upper bound. Oh, I don't know how I feel about this. Look, I understand technology. I love technology. I understand the advancements in technology. There's been more advancements in technology in the past 50 to 60 years than there has been in the entire lifespan of the globe. I understand things are moving fast. However, two things. I do not believe that AI will one day like take over us as humans. I just don't believe that. Second of all, I don't see how humans could build something that makes the rest of humanity obsolete, where he's saying that the rest, like humans won't really be necessary, but like, so what will we do? You know what I mean? Like, so what, like all the jobs will be taken by AI and the elite and the rich people will be rich. And what will you give like the rest of us like an allowance to live? Is that's how it will work? Because you're making trillionaires and, you know, somebody's worth $2 or $3, $4 trillion, but your society is just sitting down there like, okay, there's no job for me to do. So what is our purpose of humans? And I just don't think humanity, my thought, I know some of you are probably going to drag me saying that I'm being naive, but I just don't think humanity is going to keep on building and keep on doing things that will ultimately just replace humanity. I just don't think that's just going to happen. Of course, there'll be less jobs for people out there. That I 100% know. But like with everything for the future, I also think some jobs will be obsolete, but then there'll be other jobs that are created that we don't even know about. Like, for example, content creators. 20 years ago, there was no such thing as a content creator. They were like, what are you talking about? Certain things like the mail service, where I'm hearing that the United Postal Service, they want to just do away with it. Okay. When people started sending emails, they were like, yo, my gosh, emails are going to take over the mail service. No one's ever going to mail anything anymore, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to be over. That was like how long ago email started? So it took 40 years for now to come where they're thinking maybe we might not need a postal service. But look what has come with the inventions of email and internet and all that stuff is online delivery. So yes, the United Postal Service might not be needed because we email, we text or whatever, but look at UPS, FedEx, and shipping. Shipping is a whole crazy booming industry because now we get everything delivered to our house and we don't go and shop anymore. So it's like, my dad is like, you know what? I don't like how grocery stores have these automatic checkouts because I feel bad that these high school kids don't get to get jobs anymore. What about the cashiers and what about the people that are bagging your groceries? I feel bad for them. Don't feel bad for them. Are you kidding me? They're online right now buying and selling Bitcoin. You know what I mean? Like there's more younger millionaires right now than ever before because they're no longer have to do those things because there's so much more things that are accessible to them. So I think when the cashier jobs go and the bag people jobs go and whatever other jobs will go, I think other jobs will be created and other things will be created that will be able to sustain our society and our humanity. I just don't think we're going to wipe ourselves out. That's just what I think. I know I'm going to hear that I'm naive, but let me know what you guys think about my theory in the comment section below. Our fifth quick story. Feds unseal a 43-count indictment against Big U, alleging the M-word, fraud, extortion, and racketeering. I told you, man, the feds ain't playing around. Federal prosecutors have announced a sweeping 43-count indictment against Big U, accusing the longtime Los Angeles street figure and nonprofit leader of leading a criminal enterprise that spanned more than a decade, including the M-word, wire fraud, embezzlement of public funds, and racketeering. The indictment unsealed this week paints Big U as the head of a highly organized operation operating under the name of Big U Enterprises. Big U, who is 58 years old, was taken into custody on March 19th and is scheduled for arraignment April the 8th in the U.S. District of Los Angeles. According to the indictment, from 2010 till March 2025, Big U used his influence in the rolling 60s neighborhood GANG, it's right here in front of me, to operate a organized and engage in robbery, extortion, fraud, women doing things for money, illegal gambling, and the M-word. Federal prosecutors allege that Big U used his nonprofit Developing Options, which receives city and federal funding, as a front to embezzle donations and shield members of the enterprise from law enforcement scrutiny. Among the charges Big U faces are conspiracy to violate the Racketeering Act. I'm telling you, RICO. That's all these guys are doing. And the Hobbs Act, robbery and extortion, 15 counts of wire fraud, 5 counts of embezzlement and misuse of federal funds, bank fraud, tax evasion, transportation of an individual across state lines for selling their, what women do, in violation of the Mann Act. That's the same thing they're charging with Diddy, the Mann Act and RICO. So we've been telling you guys about Big U for the past week and a half, not pretty much since March the 19th. And now they have unsealed. Not really anything surprising. We knew what his charges are. I just want to let you guys know it's official. That's exactly what he's being charged for. 43 counts. Big U is done. I have been hearing that Big U is not going to really have an option to get a deal. And the reason for that is there's 22 other people that have been arrested, which we've told you some of those names. And those people are not as high profile and haven't done as much as Big U. So those people will be offered the deals, kind of like what they did with Young Thug, where it's the small, kind of like the little captains and the lieutenants. Okay, cool. Like we have you on counts, like 10 counts, 10 years. Say it was Big U, we'll give you a year, or we'll give you probation here. Like they want Big U. They want him to go down. He's the kingpin. He's the head of the snake. Cut off the head of the snake. What happens to the snake? Yes, the snake's still gonna ruffle around a little, blah, 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 but they want Big U. So apparently he is not going to get offered any sort of deal unless he could come up with somebody above him. Like, oh, y'all think it was me? Y'all think I was ahead of this? Well, look at Chris or look at whoever, whatever. So he might have the opportunity to try to do that. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you think about Big U. I think the hardest thing for me to deal with is the money and the government grants he used that was supposed to go back to the community. Finding out if he took all of that money and didn't do anything with it and didn't give back to the community, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow. I mean, everything is a hard pill to swallow because there's nothing nice in here, but that will be really tough. Before he went in, I showed you guys the clip where it's like, I've done nothing wrong. This is what happens when Black people try to give back. He has always maintained that this is his past life and they're just coming to get him now from things he did in the past. And what he wants to do is be a mentor and help Black kids and help Black children and help the community and help the hood and help the ghetto. This is what he has been doing. And now they're coming after him. We shall see, just like the Diddy case, people could talk. At some point, we will see the evidence as the people and we will know what you did with that money. That's for me what I'm going to be looking at first. Again, the other stuff is bad, obviously, but to me, that is the worst. Well, not the worst, but you know what I mean. That's just a hard pill to swallow. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. Our sixth quick story. Pop the Balloon or Find Love, a show created by Arlette and her husband, is coming live to Netflix, hosted by Yvonne. I can't believe this. Why is it not hosted by Arlette? I'm excited, but mad at this at the same time. By the way, I watch every episode of Pop the Balloon or Find Love. I love it. Shout out to Arlette, former YouTuber. Again, I got to support my YouTubers, but love that show. My gosh, why isn't she hosting it though? It can only be hosted by Arlette. Anyways, congratulations are in order for the viral YouTube dating series Pop the Balloon or Find Love, created by Arlette and her husband BM. Is getting a live adaptation on Netflix titled Pop the Balloon Live. The show, which has amassed over 100 million views on YouTube, will air every Thursday at 8 p.m. starting April the 10th, 2025, with actress and comedian Yvonne, known for Insecure, as the host. In the series, singles test their chemistry while trying to keep a balloon intact. When it pops, their chances at love ends. The Netflix series will feature reality stars like Johnny Bonanza, Chase Demure, Farrah Abraham. This move reflects Netflix's strategy to adapt popular social media concepts for its platforms, following successes like The Sideman's Inside. The show is produced by Sharpe Entertainment with Arlette. Oh, they're using their last name. I was like, who is this? Sorry. So it's with Arlette and her husband? Is it? Yeah. Why did they say Arlette? Anyways, I think they're using her last name. So Arlette and her husband are going to be executive producers. I'm so mad by this. I want Arlette to host. I think that we should start a petition. Like, why isn't Arlette hosting? Anyways, Let me know if, in the comment section below if you guys are excited about this. I love the show. It's so funny. Arlette should host. I'm mad. Let me know if you guys are excited about this. Let me know if you think it's a good move. And it just goes to what I say, which I wanted to just throw in here. The future is YouTubers, man. The future are YouTubers or is YouTubers. I'm telling you, linear TV is over. It's all about YouTubers, content creators are going to be replacing. Talking about AI replacing humans, it's going to be content creators, shows like this replacing shows that are on linear TV. And Netflix is going to be at the frontier of that. Whether it's the YouTube app or a Netflix app, it's not a show that's going to be on ABC or NBC or something like that. It's all about streaming apps and delivering content from content creators. Woo! Trent Out Loud podcast going to be on Netflix one day. Yo, shout out to Arlette, man. All right, this brings me to my favorite segment, comments of the day. All right, this first one is Doji Doge. Anyone who thinks they can't manage on 10 million for the rest of their life doesn't live in the real world. 99.9% of the real world would find that more than enough. I'm poor, and it makes me sick hearing people that talk like that. I respect your opinion, totally respect your opinion, and sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name right. And I don't think it's to go as far as to make me sick personally. I think what DDG was saying and what he was alluding to was the fact that, again, if you are 20 years old, just for the sake of argument, if you're 20 years old and somebody gives you $10 million for the rest of your life that you can't invest, you can't flip, you can't make more money, you can only just spend that money. The fact of inflation, the fact of things being expensive, the fact of just living is expensive, that you cannot live off of it. He was saying, yes, can you technically live off of it? Yes, you can, but could you actually be live and happy? I just don't think that it should make you sick to that point. Although, as I said yesterday, I agree. I feel like I could live happily with 10 million, but I was more alluding to the fact that I don't need any expensive home or cars. I like all of that stuff, but I know and I'm aware that I don't need it. A lot of people don't realize that. I feel like that was more of the point why I brought it into social discussion, not so much to say that, it makes me sick to people who can't think about that. It wasn't really to be derogatory to anybody. It was more to make people think of what actually makes us happy. Does that make sense? But thank you for your comment. And I think I've seen you before. Let me know where you are from. All right. Thanks for your comment. Next one is Pearl. So glad I live on a boat, Trent, here in the UK. If I don't like my neighbors, I could just lift my pins and sail away. Okay, that is so cool that you're on a boat in the UK, just watching the Trent Out Loud podcast, just chilling. If you don't like neighbors, you're like, yo, I'm out of here. Funny story, my aunt who used to live in England, well, Cornwall to be technical. I don't know if it was actually in England, but I think like 2 or 3 hours away. Or is that 2 or 3 hours away from London, but still in England? Sorry, I was never that great in geography. She actually took a boat from Cornwall, which is close to London, and she took a boat to Jamaica. And at that time, nobody in the world has ever done that. And it was, I think, 28 days at just sea and not over land with her and her husband on like a pretty small boat. So I have family that is into boating. So very, very cool. And thank you very much for the comment. I guess I don't have to ask you where you're from. You're in the UK, in the ocean somewhere. Super cool. All right, next one is Michael. Okay, sorry, no. It's, hi, my name is Russell. Oh, sorry. I was about to say, oh, his name is Russell Wilson. No, this is Michael correcting me from yesterday. I remember this comment. That was really funny. His name is Russell Wilson, not Simpson or Simmons. It's Wilson. Thank you for correcting me. I saw a couple of people in the comment section. I think Linda corrected me too. And she's like, Trent, I still love you. I do that sometimes. Not an excuse. Very bad of me. Whenever I talk about Joe Button, I say Joe Biden sometimes. And whenever I talk about Joe Biden, I say Joe Button. I don't know if it's the dyslexia or what, but I often mix up names. So 100% wrong of me. I don't know if I said Simpson or Simmons. And also could be that I was talking about in lead stories, I was talking about Russell Simmons and Oprah. That's why I had Simmons in my head. And I said Russell, Simmons, or Simpson. So thank you for correcting me and try to let me know where you're from. All right, Michael, appreciate you. Reese, I think it is Reese from from Louisville here again. And yes, most can live off of that amount of money because most don't make that in their lifetime, in my opinion. And she also said, good loving body rocking, knocking boots all night long. All right. Thank you so much, Reese. I forgot to actually check when I saw your comment. I was laughing. Yeah, H-Town knocking the boots. Yesterday, I think somebody in the comment section was like, yo, such and such from H-Town. And I was like, oh, what's that song, H-Town? And that's what it is. Good loving body rocking, knocking boots all night long. Yo, oh my gosh, that was my jam. Anyways, thank you, Reese, for that. I don't know if you said where you're from, but anyways, shout out to Reese. Indigenous Plant-Based Queen says, Trent, I could make that 5 to 10 million stretch. For one, I'm almost 55 years young, and if the Most High allows me to see another 50 years, I'm doing it right. I'm already plant-based, so my food bill would be inexpensive because I have my own garden and fruit trees. I'm so jealous. I wish I had that. I'm into holistic health and healing, and that's just what I do. I heal people of their disorders. I'm paying it forward so that I can be a blessing to others. That's how my money would stretch. Act of kindness. All right, Indigenous, can you help Linda? She has bad back pain. Y'all connect and help Linda out, okay? Next one is Tracy. Tracy says, Trent, you continuously say you're a purple podcast, but it's becoming more evident that you lean pretty far left. Really, Tracy? How is that? I don't understand when people say that. I think, personally, you might be new to the podcast, and that's fine. When Joe Biden was in office, I would drag Joe Biden. When Kamala Harris was campaigning and she said something, I would comment on her. I would drag her. I would make fun of her. I just think that you guys think that I'm pretty far left. The reason why you think I'm pretty far left is because Donald Trump is in office right now and Elon Musk is in office right now. And there's all these things that are going on that all his team, Pete Hegseth is doing and all of that stuff. So it's just that the Republicans are in office right now. So the things that they're doing, when they do good things, I'm like, yo, that's really cool. Like I've given Donald Trump a lot of credit on this podcast. I give him credit for following through with most, if not pretty much all of his promises. I was like, I wish Democrats would do something like that. You know what I mean? Like all the time. I literally just said yesterday how much I like Marjorie Taylor Greene. What are you talking about? I said I don't agree with everything that she says, but I said that I like her. So that's not pretty far left. But you have a right to an opinion. And if you feel like that's how I come across, I think maybe you're just new to the channel and literally just hear the things that you want to hear. That's just my personal opinion because I don't think that I'm far left at all. Here I'm ready to argue. Second of all, this. All right, Deshaun says, I love when you are serious, you repeat a word more than once. I don't know if it's a Canadian thing, but that's hilarious. Okay, anytime I do something, people say, oh, it's probably because he's Canadian. Or if people like disagree, I wonder if it's because he's Canadian. I think that is hilarious. And you said that I'm hilarious. And do I really do that? Do I repeat a word more than once? I love how when you are serious, you repeat a word more than once. Really? Can you give me a timestamp of when I do that, please? And let me know if I do. Anybody else? Like, do I repeat it? Like, say, for example, like, I'm really serious. Like that? Or do I like repeat the same thing? That I know I do sometimes. I will say, I don't know, for example, like, man, this really makes me upset when the lamp gets hot. Like, oh my gosh, I cannot stand when lamps get hot. That I know I do. Is that what you mean? Or is it actually a word? Or is it a phrase? Anyways, let me know, Sean. Next one is Joan Carlos, I think. Yo, Trent, do you realize that most of your viewers are Trump and Musk supporters? Sorry, you do realize that most of your viewers are Trump and Musk supporters, right? And then somebody underneath said, oh, yes, he does. That's why he keeps saying how much he loves them. You see how, well, actually wait, last comment was saying that I'm left. Okay, this guy's not saying that, but this guy's just saying that most of my viewers are Trump and Musk supporters. But at least the other person underneath was like how much he loves us. So how can I be far left and love Republicans? Anyways, I don't know if I agree with that. You feel like you do realize that most of my viewers are Trump and Musk supporters? Why? Just because Linda, who's the queen of the comment section, is a Trump supporter? You feel like everyone's Trump supporters? I don't think that. I disagree. I think, just my opinion, and maybe we'll just have a poll. You guys comment below. Who are you guys? Republicans? Are you Trump supporters? Let me know. Are you Republicans? Are you Democrats? I actually think most of my supporters, more than half, are independent, leaning to each side. For sure, there's some Democrats and there's Republicans. But from what I see in the comment section, most people always say, Trent, I love how you report the news, that you stay on both sides. I love that you give your opinion, that and it's fair that you see. And I feel like people that like that and gravitate towards that, themselves are a little bit more leaning to center. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And I think that when you're a stark Trump supporter, like, for example, like Linda, yes, she's a Trump supporter and she loves Donald Trump. She said that a million times, but she can also see when he does something wrong, or I think she could see somewhere in the middle. Do you get what I mean? So I don't think necessarily that they're like radical. I think that's what you're trying to like allude to. Correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, let's see if you're right. Maybe that should be that should be question of the day. I have a question of the day, but maybe I will put that aside. Let me see what. Actually, we have a pretty good question of the day. Anyways, I'm putting a question of the day in the comments of the day, and I'll remind you guys in question of the day. What are you? Are you independent? Are you neutral? Are you Democrat or are you Republican? More importantly, actually, no, sorry, scratch that. I want to know if you are a Trump and Musk supporter. Sorry, I've just decided. I want to know exactly if Juan Carlos is right or wrong. How many of you are Trump and Musk supporters? I want both. If you're a Trump and Musk supporter, let me know. Yes, I am a Trump and Musk supporter, or no, I am not. Let's see who wins. Doesn't matter to me either way, but I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure I know my viewers. All right. Black Girl Lost says, let's go. Tasha and DJ from Gastonia, NC, North Carolina. Come on, raise up, take your shot. Yo, I got to do a live in North Carolina, man. Like, let's do a poll. Everybody's watching this from North Carolina. Shout out to North Carolina. Okay, Paul says, love your show. MJ is vacationing right now as you speak, right here in St. Lucia. I'm watching you from St. Lucia. Let's go. Who is MJ? Love your show. MJ is vacationing right now as you speak. I am so confused. Who's MJ? Anyways, MJ is vacationing right now. Enjoy your vacation right here in St. Lucia. That's why I wanted to pick this, because I want to shout you out if you're on vacation in St. Lucia, but I just didn't realize the MJ part. Watching your show, MJ. I wonder what that means. Anyways, I'm watching you from St. Lucia. Let's go. Peace. Shout out to St. Lucia. My father's best friend, who is kind of like a dad to my dad and kind of like a grandfather to me, is from St. Lucia. So shout out to St. Lucia. And my cousin Sheridan, who watches every show, that's her grandfather, and he's St. Lucian. So shout out to St. Lucia. St. Lucia. What did they say? They have a word. Is it sac passe? No, sac passe is Haitian. Sac a fête là. If you're from St. Lucia, you'll know that. They say like sac a fête là. I think so. Anyways, don't come after me if I'm wrong. Last one is Lola. Lola said, I'm new to... Oh, I wanted to read this. I got this last second. Lola said, I'm new to your channel. I really don't watch too many news channels. Sorry, I really don't watch too many channels, but I found that you are smart and love the way you review articles. Lola, a little heart for you, and an O, because you might be an out louder. I don't know. That will be up to you, but I like that, man. I'm new to your channel. I really don't watch too many channels, but I found that you are smart and love the way you review articles. Thanks, Lola. That makes me feel good. That's a nice way to start off my weekend, no? Thank you, guys. All right. That's it for the comments. Like I say, every day, I wish I could read every comment, but I wish I could, read to you guys every comment and answer back or whatever, but it would be a whole other podcast. So I cannot, but I read all of them, and thank you very much for all your comments, good and bad. Keep commenting. All right, this brings us to social discussion of the day. Shannon Sharpe apologizes to Jess Hilarious for remarks he made about her body. I don't want anybody to ever feel uncomfortable with my comments. Shannon Sharpe is clearing the air after previous comments he made to Jess Hilarious about her body. About Jess Hilarious about her body. During a 2024 episode of his podcast, Nightcap, Shannon Sharpe congratulated Jess on her new role with the Breakfast Club, but things quickly shifted when he became enamored with her physique, even liking her gluteus maximus to 2 dribbling basketballs. Now on his Club Shay Shay podcast, Shannon took the time to apologize, saying, "If I offended you, I want to take out the time to apologize. That was not my intent. I don't ever want anybody to feel uncomfortable with my comments, so that is why I'm taking the time to apologize." Just responded with grace, saying, "It's okay, and that just means that you have good eyes on ya." Okay, here is the video of what Shannon said. At first, I'm going to let you know why I'm bringing this to social discussion in a second. Here is what Shannon said. Take a listen.
Body on how the dude say racks on racks on racks? But she got body on body on body.
Jess Hilarious?
What? Man, I'm saying like something too, like Kyrie dribbling 2 basketballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my question. Was there anything wrong with that? I'm not saying that there wasn't, but let's discuss it. Shannon Sharpe is on a podcast with Ocho Cinco, Nightcap. They're talking about sports, they're talking about this, talking about whatever. That's their podcast. They talk about women all the time. And he said that she has a nice body. And he said something about her butt. Is that wrong? A lot of the backlash was that he's 57 and she's, I think, like 33. Is it wrong for a man to give a woman a compliment over a podcast? Now, listen, if she was walking down the street and he said, "Whoa, looks like there's 2 dribbling basketballs. Yo, Jet." 100% wrong. And I can give you 5 other circumstances where I think that would be wrong. But is it wrong to, and let me not even say give it a compliment in case some of you guys don't feel like that's a compliment, but is it wrong to discuss a female's body in a positive way on a podcast? I'm not too sure. And it's the reason why I wanted to bring it here is because I'm not a woman, and you guys know how much I love to see things from both sides. And again, I always say it would be nice to have a female co-host because it would give me the perspective right away. But I want you guys to tell me and enlighten me why that this is wrong. I'm going to play the clip of when he apologized, and you'll see that Jess kind of indirectly alludes to the fact that he doesn't need to apologize because she says, "I'm 37 years old." And she's basically saying there's nothing wrong with that. That's what she said. And she even goes on to say, "Hey, that just means you have good eyes." So to me, that even doubles it down. If the person who the compliments or let's call it a statement to be fair, because I understand how some people could feel like that's not a compliment. That I understand. You don't have to explain that to me. But if the person who you're saying that comment about is not offended, they haven't said anything, should other people be offended? And a 57-year-old to a 35-year-old, is that wrong? Do you think Shannon Sharpe should have apologized? Were you offended? Listen to Shannon Sharpe apologize.
It was announced that you got the job. Ocho and Al Nightcap was talking about it. And I said some comments and it went viral. And I said that, hey, Ocho, she nice. She nice. So if I offended you, I want to take the time out to say I apologize. That was not my intent. But I was just like, yeah, she's a nice looking woman. She has a nice figure, Ocho, so forth and so on. And he's 57 years old. I mean, he was this and that, and they tried to play it up. And so if I
like I'm not in my 30s, grown ass woman.
Woo, after watching it back now again, you hear how she subtly, as he's talking, she says, "No, you didn't offend me." So like, I like that he's saying, hey, if I offended you, and I think that is polite of him, be like, hey, by the way, I heard stuff, people saying that I shouldn't have said that. If I did, okay, fine, I get that part. But social discussion is it okay for men, and let's not just say in the barbershop, because barbershops are not platforms, but a lot of people have, social media, and a lot of people have, even if they don't have a large podcast or a large platform, is it okay for men publicly to say things about women as somebody who's a little bit older? Is that wrong? I'm really not sure how I feel about this. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comment section below. We'll talk about it when I read your comments on Monday's episode. All right, this brings us to question of the day. All right, I have decided to scrap the question of the day that we had planned. We'll do it on Monday. For those of you who didn't watch comment section, this comes from the comment section. Somebody in the comments said, you do know that most of your, hold on, let me just get it to make sure. He said, Trent, hold on. He said, Trent, you do realize that most of your viewers are Trump and Musk supporters, right? I would like for you guys to answer below. Do you agree with that? Well, not do you agree with that? I want to know, are you a Trump and Musk? It has to be both. So Linda, I'm watching. If you're Trump, but not Musk, no. So if you are a Trump and Musk supporter, please put in the comment section below. Yes, I am a Trump and Musk supporter. Let's see how many of the comments or people answer or say, no, I am not a Trump and Musk supporter. If you really have to, if you feel like you have to, you could say, I'm a Trump supporter, but I am not a Musk supporter if you want, but really just to keep it easy. Are you a Trump and Musk supporter or are you not a Trump and Musk supporter? We'll talk about it on Monday. Thank you very much for this question of the day. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a fun weekend, y'all. All right, this brings us to sports news. LeBron lied. He knew AD was getting traded for Luka. I told you guys when this happened that it was impossible for LeBron not to have known. Give me a break. And now we got the receipts. Y'all know how much I love my receipts. All right, Le GM strikes again. There's a reason why Anthony Davis didn't believe that nobody knew about the trade they made for him and Luka. Marcus Morris claims his brother Mikhail was included in the deal that sent Luka Doncic to the Lakers because of the request from LeBron James. Chandler Pearson isn't surprised and says LeBron's NBA status makes it mandatory for the LA front office to run these moves by him first. Meanwhile, Lou Williams is questioning how this even happened. Here is proof. Take a listen.
Marcus Morris recently said that LeBron asked for his brother Markieff to be included in the trade for Luka. How long before the trade happened then do we think LeBron knew about it?
Listen, I know it was the most secret trade of all time and no one knew. I've never bought that. Anthony Davis never bought that and he was in the trade. So I think certain people definitely knew.
How could you ask for somebody to be involved in a trade that you don't know nothing about? Yo, make sure this person's in the trade. Make sure that person's in the trade. Make sure AD goes here. Make sure you get me Luka. Make sure you do all this. All right, okay, cool. Done. What trade? I didn't know about no trade. Remember he said, I was in New York with my wife at a restaurant. We were chilling, enjoying ourselves. I looked at my phone. I was like, oh my gosh, Luka's coming to LA? Yo, forget about Le GM. He's Le liar. Like LeBron is a full-on pathological liar. All he does is lie all the time. Oh my gosh. I've had enough. I shouldn't say that. That's not fair. He's not a pathological liar. That's not nice. That's not fair. He does lie a lot, though. He flops a lot on the court. He exaggerates things all the time. Like, he just... But I have to say all the time, he's my favorite basketball player off the court. He is an amazing husband. He's an amazing philanthropist. He's an amazing husband. Did I say father, husband? Like, I wish Jordan was like half he was off the court, like a mentor, like everything he does amazing. Just on the court stuff, it just drives me nuts. Just say, yo, I wanted to trade AD. We all know that you loved AD. You tried, it wasn't working. You want to get another championship so that you can get more rings than Kobe or tie Kobe and then try to get another one before you retire so you can beat Jordan or at least tie Jordan to end the conversation. We all know what you're trying to do. Just say it, LeBron. It ain't that hard, bro. You know what I'm saying? We see you, dog. We see you, fam. Anyways, hopefully next week I'm going to try to go for the whole week without talking about LeBron James. Sometimes I get so fed up of talking, I'm just like, no matter what happens to Diddy, I am not going to say Diddy's name for 1 week. No matter what happens to Trump, I'm not going to say. And there's literally a story so big that I have to be like, so Diddy, TMZ. And then there's like 20 minutes of a Diddy story. Ugh. Just know I get fatigued just like you guys. I search and try to find as much vast stories as I can for you guys. But hey, we have an entertainment and viral podcast. You got to get to viraling when things viral. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I'm telling you this in sports news, but it's Friday. I can do whatever I want. Hey. I mean, I can do whatever I want whenever I want, but y'all know how Fridays are. Hey. All right, okay, I'm done. All right, y'all. That is a wrap. It's the end of the week for your boy. Woo! I don't know what I'm going to do this week. I have plans for Saturday. I don't know what I'm going to do on Friday. I don't know what I'm going to do Saturday night after that one plan. Like, I don't know. Do you guys start your weekends off with like everything planned out? I'm very spontaneous. I like to just be like, yo, I'm going to do this and whatever happens. And then, I'll make a call or I'll just do something or somebody will call me. I'm very fluid on the weekends. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, hey. And then Sunday comes and I'm like, oh, gosh, it's over. It's so sad. And then I sit down here and I'm like, yeah, I missed y'all, man. Literally, it is hard for me to get my week started. The second I turn on the lights, second I turn on the mic, I'm like, okay, all right. I sit down and I'm like, what up, bitch? And I'm like, literally every single thing is forgotten about. And I'm like, woo, I missed this. I swear to you. It's still rough because I'm probably tired or this or whatever. But the minute I sit down here, it gives me life. So thank you all for having me. All right. Before I let you guys go to spend your weekend, however it is that you're going to spend it, I have to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For my YouTubers, if you're ever on a flight or going somewhere where you don't have internet or you don't have access to YouTube or the app, have no fear because we're available on all podcast platforms. You could just go and download us and take the shows with you. Notice how I said shows. You could download a couple if you have a long flight, all right? I got you. Just go to any podcast platform and type in Trent Out Loud. The show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow or subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show because we upload. Oh, I almost had it perfect. Damn it. Because we upload daily just like YouTube. We got you. Now, vice versa, for my podcast listeners, thank you. We love the downloads. Thank you for listening. However, we, the Out Louders, suggest that you watch the show over on YouTube. Why? Because this is where we all hang out. This is where we all talk. The comment section is lit. You got to come over here. And also because it's better to just watch this podcast specifically visually. I'm very animated. It's just a better experience when you watch. We play videos. We put up pictures. It's just nice over here. Head over on to YouTube. Type in Trent Out Loud. This show will pop up. There are some housekeeping rules to become an official member of the Out Louders. You got to hit subscribe, obviously. That's how you get your, what do they say when they hire you? You get like your pass and all of that stuff. Whatever. That's how you get your credentials. Hit the subscribe button. You got to hit the like button because we got to get the algorithming. Then you got to comment. Would be nice if you commented on any of the stories or question of the day or social discussion, whatever. If you're not opinionated or you don't want to give out your comments, that's cool. Please try to let us know where you're from because this is a global podcast and we like to know where you are in the community. So, hey, what's up? I'm from blah, blah, blah. All right. Lastly, a bonus. If you really like the show and enjoy the show, try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones because that helps in growing the channel, and we appreciate the support. Lastly, for those of you who want to follow me on social media, I'm available on all social platforms. Just type in Trent Out Loud. I'll be there. And we started a new blog page called Formerly Out Loud, where we put the videos that we play on the episodes, the daily episodes, we put them on full over on Instagram. There's videos that we can't play in entirety because they're just too long, or they have swear words, or there's music that have copyright issues. So if you'd like to see the full extent of that video, you can go over to our blog page, Formerly Out Loud. Now, yesterday, somebody told me they couldn't find it. And then today, my friend Mars was like, hey, what's this new Instagram page you keep telling us about? I tried to find it and I couldn't find it. And I was like, what is going on? Is something wrong with the page? And I spelled it out for her. I said, it's Formerly Out Loud. And she goes, oh, you know what? I was putting in formerly Trent Out Loud. So she recommended that I tell you guys, for those of you who cannot find it, it is Formerly Out Loud. Don't put the Trent. It's just formerly, like how you would normally spell it, Formerly Out Loud, if you want to check us out. Thank you so much for a great week. Subscriptions are up, views are up, likes are up. Couldn't do this without you guys. As you know, this is our podcast. We do this together daily. Thank you very much for the support. Love y'all. Have a great weekend, however you choose to spend it, whether you're just lazing around the house, chilling, or you're going out, partying, doing whatever it is that you're doing. Enjoy yourself. Be safe. But more importantly, be right back here on Monday, or sometimes check in on the weekends, because we're doing some weekend little snippets right now. If any story pops off, we're coming in and doing our weekend shows that we started. By the way, it was our first full week of shows throughout the day. I feel like some of you guys are liking it. I see some comments and stuff, so I feel like it's going on pretty good. Don't forget to check us out sometimes over the weekend. But if you don't and you want long form podcast, make sure you're back here early Monday morning. Have a great weekend, y'all. Peace. I feel we should do a bigger piece for Friday, right? Peace. All right, peace. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace!